Hey, how are you, people? So, we are back to this final part of our journey in learning game development on JavaScript. Uh, this has been quite a journey in where we have been exploring what GL technologies they use of frameworks for doing this easier. Since we saw during the first part, it was kind of complicated to do, how to say, normal things that we want to do in game development, like rendering even rectangles and giving it shaders, but has the advantage that now you know the fundamentals of how these other technologies works. And if it is the case that you want to improve your performance, because when it matters, it matters. Well, you have now the ability to know how to do that. Then we use that frameworks again to make that in a simpler way, in a more familiar, in a not low level way. But again, returning to JavaScript, which is very friendly. And now we're going to make use of thing called a web engine. And I'm going to start by explaining what it is. But first, I would like to test my mic and my camera. If you can see me and you can hear me, let me know here in the comments. For example, I see from our friend Kat, I guess, the check-in link. So please help me going to events.mlh30/events slash 11166 and register while checking to this session, please. Um, Hi. So, okay, that confirms that everything's fine with the stream. I don't know why, like maybe to my door. I don't know what that spot is here. But okay, let's continue. So yeah, returning to what I was saying, the Git engine it's a whole environment where we can upload a numerous type of files, type of let's say resources to now really put in practice full game development. And what I mean with that, for example, with the previous frameworks we have used, it kind of feels like a web page, right? But an interactive one that makes it a game. To be honest, but here it is a full environment that has the things you need. For example, talking about if you're familiar with game development in other platforms, with cameras, with scenes, you have models, you have these type of assets, you have materials, you have textures, you have scripts that helps you run the logic for the models, for the objects you have. um, I have worked with Unity. Actually, I am currently on my school having a subject about VR, and we work in Unity, and it's quite good. Actually, I like Unity, but Play Canvas it's also very good, to be honest. And it has the advantage that, for example, in Unity you have to program in C, which is not bad. Well, actually, it's C sharp. I know it's not the same, but it is not bad. But it's kind of hard if you're not a C sharp developer. Uh, well, if you want to go deeper in video games, I really encourage you to learn other languages besides JavaScript. Learn C sharp, learn Python, learn Java, learn well a full range of languages. But in this case, I want to make use of Play Canvas because, of course, we're in the series of how to develop using JavaScript, and well, this will be the way on how to develop. And then what you have, how you play this game, how you actually get your model on and say like, hey, this is my game. Well, there are different ways. For example, I once developed a game with Play Canvas, and I put it on a mobile app that was for work. In our application, we're using Ionic, so we insert the canvas on the HTML for the page, and then we start running the Play Canvas engine. So it's for mobile devices, it's really good because developing on Unity for mobile, to say it in a way, if you want to just do the game, it's fine. But in our specific case, the game lived inside our app. So it was there were different paths. For example, we could make a specific app for the game, like, hey, we have this game, download it on the app store, etc. But our product manager wanted to have it inside the application, and our application, it's about uh, cargo tracking. So we have things like maps and history of orders and everything, and there's a specific button on the menu that says, hey, want to chill out a bit, why don't you play a game? And now opens a whole game. And well, technically that's complicated. It uses a lot of resources and everything. Unity wasn't a good choice in this case, because we wanted to to have this game living inside the repo, the app, the code, and since now it is JavaScript, HTML, and all that stuff, living in Ionic, Poly Canvas was the right choice here. And the performance is really good. The experience of playing, it's smooth. Like, I just have good things to say about Play Canvas. So yeah, that's the main reason why we are here. So let's get our hands on work. And while I prepare my screen to be shared, if you have any questions, please let me know. Matamat12TB says Joe. I think that's like a Joe. Hey, so hi, thanks to be here. Now, here's my screen. Nice. First thing first, we are going to visit playcanvas.com. This may be open with my session, but let me close. Yeah, let me close this and open in a normal tab. I am going to log out. Just to ensure we're seeing the same page. Okay, now here it is. If anytime my computer stops working properly, I mean, like, this is a web engine. It could be web, it could be JavaScript and whatever, but still uh, hard to process. It consumes a lot of memory, and well, all graphic things are heavy software, right? So let me just try to close some other apps I have open. maybe Word. I don't need it right now. Maybe this, maybe that, maybe Teams. Okay. So again, if I got freezed or the stream is not working properly, just let me know. I'll be following the stream here uh, to ensure that. So Play Canvas, the web first game engine, and what does that web first mean? Um, we can develop for all platforms, but this is like focused for the web. But as I mentioned before, I have experience to use it in mobile, and it's really nice and works really fine. So we have how to say a headbar with the features, explore the industries they use this, learn pricing, and the login. We are going to log in. Well, in your case, if it is your first time, it will be sign in a seconds, right? But I want you to see what do I meant. For example, in this part, they are creating these like robots, and they are going to um, give them properties. You can scale them. You can how to say rotate. Well, you will see the the things you can do here. Another good thing about the Canvas for sure is that it's open source, so the community is really active here. You can see all the issues, all the pull requests you have, well, the external things that are a good fit for Play Canvas, and the support here is it's amazing from the community. So even if you have questions or something, you can ask always, and you will be here. And this is, for example, some games that have been developed using Play Canvas. This one gives a big space. And another thing, for example, if you don't want to use this just for games, they have like this industry chart. I was mentioning I have this class on my school right now that we are developing VR experiences. Uh, we could use VR here on Play Canvas. Also AR. They I don't know why to be honest. This is a disclaimer. But they have a dedicated section for gambling. I think that's a big industry for them. I'll just say this is part of games or AR, VR, depending how you implement this. But the other cool thing it's about the ads. You can do. I will call this section animation because not only for being interactive, but just to play and create animations. This is a really cool tool that helps you prepare everything like if you being in a cinematic environment. I mean, you have scenes, you have cameras, you have the ability to control the motion of everything on the space. So again, they call it ads, but you can say it as animation. And there's a lot of companies using this. If you remember the example here, the Polaris vehicle, uh, so, some big companies like to have their products shown on three-dimensional space. Like you can uh, change things in this vehicle. Like if it was a Mario Kart uh, first stage on where you select the parts and everything, and that's really cool. Also, I saw that for Nike for the sneakers, but I don't know what platform they use for that. It is not Play Canvas, otherwise they will be displayed here. Like, hey, Nike used or tool, right? But I don't know what they used. So now get started for free. Sign up. In your case, I will log in and I will show you what it looks like from inside. It's loading. Give it a time. Okay, now here we are. Of course, I don't have here the project I mentioned before. That it's the company one. This is my personal account, but they have this very first project I made once. I tried for first play Canvas, and we can open this just to show you how this works and what's one of the potentials. But of course, we are going to create from scratch or share the first project, like our first project together. Let's say it's our. So here the playing area it's so reduced. I mean, you will see. Oh, another thing I really recommend for experience working not only with Play Canvas but with anything related to graphics, it's have a good mouse because trackpads depend of your computer kind of suck. But if you have even if you have a good trackpad, there's nothing like a good mouse to give you the accuracy, to say it that way. But yeah, I really recommend you to have a mouse for doing this. So this is the game. What it is funny about this is that one of these rectangles have no how to say it, have no property of being floor, so the ball just falls through it, and that's all. Once you get to the other line, you're done. You can move the ball with your cursor, sorry, with the keys. You can jump and stuff. But I want you to get familiar with some things here. The first one at our left, we have the hierarchy tree. What do we have in our hierarchy tree? The first thing, and you need one of these in every project, it's the camera. What the camera is? Well, the camera is going to show you what the game is going to be looking like when you're playing. Because, well, when you're playing, you cannot move along the world like this, doing zoom or on rolls or pans or things. No, in this specific case, we have a static camera. The camera can be moved via script, via trajectory, via user input. For example, if you want the camera to be like in front of your playing character, like in a shooting game, you can do it, whatever. But in this case, the camera doesn't. Then we have the light. The light is also very important because gives the how to say it, like the feeling like you're in a real world. You have the interaction with light of the objects. For example, they create shadows. That's the main thing about being in a game engine. You don't have to program that. That's included in the game engine. Otherwise, if you were playing, for example, or yesterday's example with Phaser, and we wanted to add a sun, there are many ways, and more in a 2D game, that we could do that. But think of that. It's a complicated thing. Have the reference of the position of the spot, the light, the sun, whatever thing you may produce this, and now you have to interact that and display like now think of what happens when the character moved. For example, we used a sprite for doing that yesterday, and now think of drawing the sprites for the shadows. I don't know. That will be a very complicated thing. And again, that we don't have to worry about that thanks for the game engine. Another thing I mentioned, it's the ball just passed through one of these platforms. The other ones has properties, and even the ball has some physical properties of failing, of when, for example, when I jump, it has to fail. Yesterday we programmed that. Yesterday we say to the script we use, if I hit arrow up, the position of the character is going to change in this way. But if I don't press anything, the position in the y or x or zeta vertex will return to its original. So we have to recreate gravity then. Here, we just declare these type of objects as as physical properties, and we don't have to program anything. The game engine has already those parameters to how to say, to simulate real world scenarios, real world physics. What else we have? The teleporters. Well, this is just like checkpoints to move along the game. But well, you understand that here in the hierarchy, we have all the elements of the game, all the elements living inside this scene. I want to specify that. And you can see it is hierarchy because, for example, with platforms, it's father, and these other elements are its sons. So we can see the positions here. And you see, when I select these ones, we have this entity or other section that shows properties about these elements. For example, the camera has some properties about the environmental entity, the environmental properties like where its position, what its rotation, what's the scale of this. It has a name. I can enable it, unenable it, but also we have specific properties of this play canvas element, which is the camera ones. So we can change the clear color, we can change the far flip, the near flip, the viewport, the layers, the tags it has. We can add scripts and everything, right? But for example, if I remember these ones of platform, they don't detect it as um, they don't detect it as a camera. So the entity has no camera properties, but it has collision properties. It has rigid body properties, and I have them on. So, for example, let me look for the specific one. Okay, I think I turn them all on. Hmm. Okay. One of these rigid bodies should be off, but let me run the demo and see which one is. But we get it, right? So we are familiar now with the hierarchy. That's how we know all the elements in our current scene. Now we have the entity section where we can see the properties of our of object or play canvas element. And you can see this section here where it's like our working area. It has a proper name for that, but I don't remember the name. In which we can take move ourselves in this virtual world and add elements, move. For example, here I can move it in the entity section, so I can do it various ways. I can type the value I want. I can, if you see this like symbol here, I can drag this. I am moving my cursor one side, then I'm moving my cursor the other side, or I can come here, select this, and move it, taking an arrow, taking the other arrow, taking the plane, for example. I'm going to come and sit at that because I don't want that to move too much. And I'm going to return this to 0 where it was. Okay, but now what else we can do? I changed the position in these tree forms, but there are other values. For example, the scale, for example, the rotation, and what else we have here? This is like our left uh, panel, right? Uh, so we have the translate operation. I think these things have a name like gizmos or something like that. At least I once hear my professor too called it that way. I think that was for Blender, but it's really similar. We have the rotate operation, we have the scale operation, and the resized element component. Mostly, we are going to use these three first: translate, rotate, and scale. And I want you to see how the skeleton of the operation change when we are in translate. The this has arrows. Like when we are in scale, for example, they end with squares to graphically tell us what's happening. And we are in rotate. It has like the sphere um coordinates to see which axis we are rotating on. We have more things like the focus, the snap thing, undo, redo, like mapper, code editor, publish or download, and more options. If you want to get familiar with the controls, here they are, um, like the shortcuts and well, how you can enable them. For example, if I want to quickly change from uh, what's it, undo and redo, to check the toggle panels, duplicate things, delete the thing they have selected, and stuff, right? So that's it. What else? Oh, this is very important. You, for example, notice that I lost sight of what I was looking for. So I can come here to the scene and press F, and I will see it again. This is like the fox. So now I'm here again. Thanks for Well, when I first started this play canvas journey, I think the controls are very sensitive, so I lost track of the scene very often, and I didn't knew that seeing F or that shortcut. It was when I started to read like in the controls how to do this. Here it is on the focus entity. Um, but yeah, I lost a lot of time. So we're missing one last and a very important one, and it's our assets section. As you may see, it has an asset store where you can go and buy some things, very nice things. As same as all the game engines. To be honest, I frequently receive a lot of mails from Unity that says, "Hey, these things are on sale. These textures, these models, these tools are on sale." Well, the good thing is Play Canvas doesn't do that. If you were worrying about your privacy, but yeah, what do we have here? We have a folder containing our ammo, for example, and what is it? The ammo.js, the ammo was, and the ammo was.js. These are the scripts that it has the project for worked. Then we have the model. What's that? Well, the arrow of the platforms has the how to say it's a model. These ones are well, to be honest, I don't know what these are. There are like files to complement these things, but the material it's very important. Yeah, we will see this on detail in a moment. But take a look that when you import something new, let's take one of these. Hmm, let's try with a wall. Oh, there are, I think there are marked. Yeah, this is. I'm going to delete them. Yeah, delete, delete. Well, I'm going to add to the hierarchy a new 3D element, and it will be a sphere. So I have my sphere here. I'm going to move it to another position so we can see it clearly thanks to the light. And you will see, okay, I lost focus of this. Why I'm not seeing the ball? Okay, let me. I think I messed up with the program. I will create the sphere in a second. Just oh yeah, I don't know why. I think I deleted the original ball. No. Okay, that was my mistake. Okay, it doesn't matter. I will fix it. So let's resume to where we were, to all the windows. Okay, I will try to run this, so the error will give me a um, better side of what I messed up with, and then we can return to the explanation. As you will see, it opens uncovered section, retriever. Okay, that's nothing to do with the program itself. Okay, I think the problem is okay, yeah, I can close this. The ball should be here. This should be here. The sphere GBL as component 3D render audio UI script no to override. Uh, yeah, sphere 1 plane. This is the type render. Maybe changing just the name for sphere. And the ball now has rigid body, a script, movement, speed, sphere. I don't know what changed. I mean, both are enabled. Hmm. Settings, project settings, history, project settings. I'll see if I can return. What kind of game is this? Oh, this is just an example to you to get familiar with the Play Campus environment. Uh, oh no, this is only one change, so I cannot go backwards. It doesn't matter. I will create a new wall containing this the things should have. Okay, but yeah, the last part was this. The last part contains all the assets we need in order to get our project running. But I again I mentioned in the hierarchy they exist all the elements living in the scene, but we can have more things loaded on our project living on the assets. This will be like the file directory of our project. So again, I need to create. I will delete this ball. I am going not to enable it. I'm not going to delete it either, but I'm going to create a new render, not living inside the ball. And this rendered it will be type sphere. I will make it shorter, maybe 1.8. I mean 0.8, 0.8. Oh, this should not be part of the teleporter. It should be part of the ball. And this is going to be enabled, but this is not going to be. Oh, I think I know when. Yeah, the file for this was removed. The render was removed. So I just need to add this here. Type sphere. No. PC render component is label sensitive render a match. Raw primitive shape this component. Well, yeah. What's this? A texture. This is the material that has the diffuse texture and the spectacular. Okay, we have the FBX. And what is this? The render. Now we need to resolve the material here. Okay, to be honest, I don't know why this breaked, but this is a template instance. This is the entity, so I can come here, enable this again. So since this is now open, I will disable this and give this the material. Why not? Take this ball material. Now we have the ball. And let's see if we launch this, it works properly. Sorry for the big pause here, but it can help. It helps explaining the flow of creating these video games. Yeah, now it works. So I really break the game. I don't know why. I think I deleted the wrong thing and at some point. But here it was what I was just explaining on how we can give physics to things that usually could be more complicated on if we were not using a game engine. I will give you the example of what I was saying about the teleported platforms. I can remove, for example, from this one, the rigid body. Now can I can launch this again, and you will see a very big difference on how this behave. You knew I could just with certain ability move the ball from one teleporter to another. For example, for the question, what kind of game is this? I remember a game called Bounce when you were red ball and you have to complete like a set of obstacles. And when I was younger, I had that game on I think I was a Nokia. Then when I grew up, my mom has Lumia, or which one was these games from? Sorry, these telephones from Windows. Yeah, I think it was a Lumia with Windows Phone. They released a 3D version of that game, like Bounce 3, uh, and this is really similar to that, except for in this case we cannot jump. But you see, the thing here is that we remove the rigid body properties from one of these platforms, and now we cannot pass. Well, I'm sure we can do if we do this quick. But, yeah, no. The thing is here, uh, this rigid body property really help us to replicate physics of the real world without having to code them all. So let's close this. No, sorry, and let's get a look to these scripts. We even have a code editor here, so it's a very complete environment. We declare a variable movement from the created script movement object, and we give it attributes as speed. We type the default, mid, max, the precision, and this is the control or the description of this. Then remember the two main functions we were talking about yesterday when we were um, developing on Phaser. I told you, and that was really true, that there are two main things we need to do um, when developing games. Initialize the state of our scene or of our video game, and then have an update function. Sometimes these update functions will just be called when an event triggers them with listeners, for example. But most of the times, um, frame framing the change of the frames will will how to say it refresh these all call these functions. In this case, we have a movement update function that call this, and we save the force on X and our zeta, because another thing I didn't mention is that in this world, in this three-dimensional world, difference from past one we had just x and y. Here we have x, y, and zeta. The y, it's pointing on the up direction, and negative y, it's pointing down. So we're just moving the ball in the theta and x plane. So in this case, no need to save the 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 force in y. But you will see a contradiction here, and I want to explain that it is just for convention that I call these. Well, it was called RY. I mean, you can totally call these zeta, and it will work very fine, right? So, but let's explore what we were mentioning. We here for the action of pressing the keys in the computer, we have the left key, the right key, the up key, and the down key. And depending on which one of these we press, we increment or decrement the value of the force we apply. For example, for left and right, we increment. This is arbitrary. I mean, you could totally say right, it's going to decrement it, and left, it's going to increment it, the force in x and y. Because another thing, it's this is for the main framework. Let's say that way. So I want to take a moment here to explain. Um, it could be better in a graphic way. Let me see. Draw JS Paint. That will be because we love JS. JS Paint app, and let's wait for this to to open. Well, we mentioned we have our world, and this world has a ball here, right? Well, imagine this is the ball. And we have a reference that tells us this is x, this is theta, and this is y, right? So when we see this just from the top, think of this. You want to move the ball, but the ball has its own. I want to delete it. Its own directions. So we probably want to move ball this way. No, we probably want to move ball this way, except that the frame direction tell us this is x and this is theta, right? So how can we move the ball in this direction? Well, we need an angle for that. And remember your physics classes? Well, um, this is when they come handy to develop games. We have an x vector. I mean, we have that this r, it's equal to the x component of the scene of the angle. These are nets. As they are in theta, it's the same, but theta, let me write this uh, how it's supposed. These are in theta. This is hard, don't judge me. It's the same component, but in the opposite, I meant cos part of the angle, right? So this is why once we get the force, we declare this force in x is equal to force in x, force in theta is equal to this. And if the force length, we calculate this rx and ry or theta, it doesn't matter, depending on the position of the angle. Here, it's important to mention that many the game's engine works not with angles but with radians. So in this case, we are saying um, just take the pi and multiply by here pi. It's so here we're working the with radians. So one quarter of pi, it will equals two pi. It's the full circle. What will be 25? No, I don't want to lie, but it's from the translation of degrees. Here we set the force according to the multiplication of the force in x plus the angle or the vector or on x minus the force in theta plus times the vector in y in theta, and same in the opposite. So but in this case we add it instead of resting from it. Then if the force length it's equals or it's bigger than the speed, we can normalize the scale of the speed. And finally, we apply as an impulse. That what does that mean? You're not playing, but you probably saw that. Well, no, you didn't saw. The feeling of this game is that I don't have precise control of what's happening. I just press a button, and it depends on how many times with what pressure I press that button, and the ball is going to receive an impulse in the direction I I want it. So here the impulse it's going to be one direction. If I want to reduce the movement, I cannot just take the hand away from the button because the ball is going to still moving. Then I if I want to reduce the impulse or pause or even get the ball to get to the other side, I need to press the opposite button. So that's the feeling of the game, and that's why we are not um, controlling or having precise control of this movement. We are just making an impulse. We are going to make an example right now of having full control of the movement, and you will see. But balls are not that funny, right? What if we start our own project, we give some textures, and we start exploring a topic that you may like? Who here likes Pokemon, or however you pronounce it? Let me close this. I'm going to save this for later. Now we are familiar with Play Canvas environment. So we are going to go back to Play Canvas, create a new project. This will be a blank project. Let's call Global Hack Week Pokemon. And let's create it. Now we can open it on the editor, and by default, it gave us a plane and a ball. No, I think it's a square. Yeah, well, we will figure out. For what I remember, it's a square. Let's give some time to load. Yeah, now it loads. Skybox. What does this skybox is? Well, I want you to look at the background we have. Well, we can change that if we. What's the one we have currently right now? I think. Well, we can change it later. It doesn't matter for the reasons. We are going to create a new folder called. Oh, I don't want it here. I want it at the here. This new folder is going to be called materials. And we are going to create an other folder, and that will be called models. But hey, Alberto, um, I don't know how to apply a texture. Well, sorry, I didn't even explain what a texture is. Well, let's create a new asset, and this it's right clicking here on this part, and we can create a material. This material, as you see, if you select it, we can call it floor material, right? And it has many properties. One of the property could be its color. So I can change, for example, the color. Just give me a second. Here, I wanted to check everything was fine with the stream. Here in the diffuse, we can select a color. We can make it, I don't know, let's think we are on grass, so this will be green. And you saw how our material changed color. And now I take this and apply it to the plane. So now our box could be in some grass. Um, but why we call these Pokemon? Okay, I'm going to replace the box. I'm going to delete it, and look for a page called, I have it here, give me a second and I copy it for you. modelresource.com/3ds/Pokemon XY. Here it is, if you want it, and you're following the stream with me. So here we can find the model for whatever Pokemon, some, not all, but some of the generations. So choose your favorite Pokemon. In my case, I have to admit one of my favorites have always been Charizard, Charmander, Charmeleon. But why not? Let's look for um, another I really like. It's uh, this Geodude. So let's open this Geodude, and we can download the zip. Now let's wait for this to be completed. And the way we can import these assets to our project is just going to the folder we want, and then open the Finder or file manager you have. And I'm just going to unzip first the download I just made. Oh, sorry. I think I must wait for it to be completed. Okay, now it's done. So now I can unzip it. And I'll just take the whole folder called Geodude and put it here. I think I should upload it this way. Okay, now they are uploading. But the thing is, I think this needs the alpha. So let me add this here. This is not letting me import, just drag and dropping. So I'll have to upload it again. and this will be images, and all of this goes inside this. And no, this is not recognizing the format. So let me check if it has to do with the specific Pokemon I downloaded. Um, I will try to download another one. Let's say one of the most populars, which is Bulbasaur. So Bulbasaur should have all uh, all the files available. Hmm. Okay. Bulbasaur seems to have another type of files, but just to be sure, and we can do this together. Um, if we go back to our overview and hit the docs, we will find the reference for all we need to know about the canvas. So the canvas, developer files, user manual, tutorials. User manual is what I want. This API reference is for you where you're writing the scripts. For the moment, I just want the user manual, and I'm looking for not the engine to get started. Play Canvas workflow, support browsers. Your first step, made with Play Canvas. The profile, no. Organizations, dashboard, editor, no. Scenes, assets, assets, uploading and importing 3D models. I may be doing this in a bad way. 3D models and animations are important to place canvas by downloading scenes file from 3D model applications such as Blender. Yeah, Play Canvas supports wide variety of formats such as GLB, FBX. We have an XBX. We recommend use it. What? Uploading one of these files will create a source asset type of model. Oh yeah, here it is. Um, okay, that's on me. I didn't thought of double clicking off on the XPX, and we'll produce several target assets, including a template with the model hierarchy. You can add it a list of template into your game. This is the model template. So here's Geodude. Amazing. Let's see closer. Why don't we have? Oh, why don't we have the styles? Um, okay, we may have to include this manually. the body, it's this one, diffuse. Okay, the eyes are these ones. And what's this one? I2. So I1 merged. Oh yeah, this one this one was A1. This is body 2, body nor. Oh yeah. So nor means for normal. So in the body, if we want to increase the tail of this, we drag and drop this one, and you will see this is map of normals. Oh no, but I this one was the normals. I think I did something that I shouldn't. No, delete it. Yeah, this yeah this one's okay. We don't need normals, no matter. Lyrics L left. I mean that's left. That this is right. So a alpha, a normals, here is one, and here is two. Uh, this is what I was looking for. Diffuse. Here is one, and this here is two. It's this one. Yeah, thanks. And we're just missing in the eye for building this. This is the AI alpha. So A1 alpha. So they must be an A2 alpha. No, this is A1. The alpha, it's the ambient. The normals are these ones. Okay, that works better. And which one is this? This is for A2. It's kind of weird that looks this. We may I may missing some other in the textures. Let me look for there here on the images. We have our body, we have the body 2, the normal of the body, the alpha we just added, the merge. Oh, that's the problem. I think we needed the 8 one merged instead of, yeah, we're missing one called A1 merged. and this goes here. And the left iris needs no, what happened? No, of course this is not. Okay. mm, Usually this is supposed to be automatically done. Maybe if I change the background color to this. No, it didn't help. Okay. Whereas I'm going to assume your this may be missing. Opacity, ambient. Yeah, the normals didn't have that much. But I could add it. Hmm. Reflection, environment, light map, other. Well, now I'm sure I'm not missing anything, but still, it's weird. Looks weird. But here's our geodude. And our geodude, it's on grass, supposed to be on grass, but we don't believe it. It is not what we expected. First, let's make the plane bigger. How we do that, we scale it on X. This will be 10. We scale it. No, I think it should be more bigger. Maybe 15. Yep, that works. On 15. It's a plane, so it has no sense to scale it on Y. But what else we need to do to make this a better video game? No, now I think of this, I need more than that. I need 30 and 30 here. So yeah, here we are, and you saw we got our great model. Um, Maybe here we will see. Oh, it was not a problem of me. Oh, now I'm very released. Yeah, that didn't happen to me either. The eyes in the model I use are black. Okay, yeah, this wasn't fixed since December 18, 2018. So we're good to go now. I'm in peace mentally. Um, the thing here now, we need textures for the plane. Remember, this model already come in with some textures, so that's why we are not looking at this geodude fully blank. Like if we, for example, add a 3D model of a box, right? Um, this box is fully blank. So if I don't apply a material to this, uh, it will be blank all the time. The plane, it was blank. We apply a material, a green material to try to give the illusion this was grass. But grass doesn't look this way. Grass has textures. Grass has like these hairly feel, like they have small pieces of grass, I mean, and that interacts with the sun. And even grass is not flat. Grass has like an up like, for example, this plane is flat completely. If I move here and see it from the uh, lateral, I mean, if I even go on the opposite side, you will see it is not displayed because different as models. For example, if I go inside Geodude and I go this closer, there is some point I don't see nothing, and that's not because I passed the Geodude. It's because I'm inside it, and from inside, the video game has nothing to render. This is for optimization. For if you think it this way, when you're playing whatever game you want, the plane needs to load all the assets, to load all the textures, to load all the game itself. And if you're not going the opposite side of a door, you don't need to have it loaded. Um, there are some specific cases in which you want to load both sides of something. For example, if the door is open, you cannot do it with a plane because the other sides would not be rendered. Uh, you will never be inside the geodude, so it has no sense to render the inside walls. Let me focus again the geodude. And so, as I was mentioning, the plane steals completely flat, but we could keep illusion of three-dimensional space with appropriate textures. How to create textures? It's a completely art. Same as, for example, modeling this geodude. And I want to be so. I know I'm repeating myself from the past streams, but developing video games is not only about scripting. It's not only about the code intentions. It's lots of work of graphic creation. Thankfully, there's a page called textures.com, and in previous times they had a very big catalog of free assets. Currently, that catalog is not that big. For example, this mowed grass, it's really cool. It is not a texture; it's 3D model of grass, but I could look for just grass, and for example, you will see this model containing the even when they cut the grass, these patterns on it, this cobblestone. Um, this grass looks really nice. This grass tree, I really like it because this has the feel I mentioned on not being completely plain, but it has texture. Um, this looks more plain. It's like less grown grass. This is moss. I would say like this doesn't look like grass. This looks like moss, but yeah, it is moss. But you will see. For example, the one I liked, this one. If I want to use this, I need to download this file for this will be the diffuse. I mentioned the normal, the height one. This is going to give the illusion of actual height when the plane is flat. This is amazing. Um, but the roughness, well, all of these files for have a really nice texture, just like this. But it's not free. It costs credits, and as you read here, I don't have credits. Well, the good news is you can buy a subscription here. Actually, it's not that expensive. If you want to, or if you're planning to do this in a more professional way, it completely worth it. But for me, for us, just developing for fun, we are going to go to the free section and look for what they have here. They don't have grass. Last time I checked, and still doesn't have, or what I think. Yeah, but I saw this muddy sand too, and I really like it. And it makes sense that our Geodude it's in a muddy sand, right? Uh, download. I will download this on medium size. Actually, all are free. So if you want to download it in large, it's completely free. It's okay. I'm going to download it. This on medium. This one too. This one too. This one and this one. I'm going to hurry up because time is um, not an ally of us right now. And then go back. No, here, going to the materials, floor material, and here I will drop what I just downloaded. One, two, three, four, five files containing the textures. And as you saw previously for Geodude, some of these files, um, not some, these files need to be declared in a specific part of the material. Sometimes, if the materials are correctly named, you just need to import one, which is the diffuse here, and the one called albedo, albedo, albedo. You need to import it or post it here, and you saw the ambient one was uploaded automatically, the normal was set automatically, the parallax one was set automatically, and we were missing one, which is I don't know, one. two, three, four. Oh yeah, we're missing one. I think this is the one. Roughness. We can set the roughness here as opacity. Actually, it's not necessary to have them all set. So since I'm not sure about this, I'll delete it. And let's see how this looks like. You saw this looks like okay. This is a shadow, and if we change our light or light, it's currently here. Let me change the rotation of the light, and you will see how shadows in the plane change, and that just breaks my mind completely. We don't have any program yet. We're just taking assets, free assets from the internet, making use of this very powerful game engine, and we have out of the box something looking way better than we have done this far. We take an entire class, the first part, to render a colorized rectangle. It takes us the second class with frameworks to develop a very nice two-dimensional game. Well, to be fair, in the first class we also saw two other examples: breakout game and raining rectangles, but that was fast because the code was there. The thing to understand everything was huge, was immense. Here we're using just the abstractions, we're using the last layer, we're using these big tools to get our project nice running. Very simple. So let's add one last thing, and that's movement. How we add this movement to our geodude? Well, we need to select the geodude, add a component, and that will be a script. Give me a second. I'm opening the file I got prepared. Okay, so now here we are. And okay, now that we had this select, we add the script, but it is not applied yet. Actually, we don't have any file yet. We create a file called movement.js, then create it, and it's been added. I don't like it here. I'll put it on the root, going to the root, create a folder called, no, I don't want it here models, I want it here, and this will be called scripts. Our movement will be placed here, and then we just need to, we could do it some ways. We can come here and edit or double click here, but let's do it the old fashioned way. Now we have the empty template of our movement script. And this movement script contains some things. The declaration of the script called movement, called in a variable that it's movement, but don't let the name guide you. Actually, what this is happening, it is a very good way to tell us that this file is for movement. But inside the game engine, this doesn't mean that it necessarily has anything to do with movement. We could call this in a very bad practice A or X or something like that. But movement it's just an instance of the script that the PC, in this case the PC running the game, it's generating from play canvas. And movement as that instance has a prototype method called initialize and a prototype method called update. Again, these two are very important in game development. You are going to set um, some ways to detect movement here. For this, we are going to get the the key we are pressing. So we are going to create a variable called key pressed. Well, first we need to create a variable called keyboard, right? And from this dot up, we'll get the keyboard. Then we want to detect if the switch keyboard dot is pressed, or variable keyboard dot no variable key pressed, and it's going to be keyboard it's pressed PC, and the PC key it's key left. Actually, let's change this for just left variable right we are going to use the same code. So key right, key up, up, variable down, PC key down. So we are going to check if left. What do we need to do? This dot entity dot translate the for entity. Remember, we declare this script inside the GHW object, so the entity will be it, and translate to cell to move in the minus dt, which was the function that which is the how to say it, the oh, I forgot the name of this. Remember, I mentioned that some cases the update function changes depending of type of event. Well, this function changes on differential of time. That means dt. Um, and we're passing the differential of time as a value that will be 1 second, one frame, etc. As a value that says you have a specific control of the movement. So in the case you're not pressing anything, it will be not moving. In contrast, for example, of the ball example we just saw earlier, if you press it, it received an impulse. So that was the entity dot impulse. Remember that. But in this case, the translate tells in this direction, which is x, move on the t, then 0 on others, and we'll do this same 4 times, but for right, up, and down. If we're saying left and right, the best thing to do is do dt, but no, sorry, it's to do dt, but in the positive direction. And in this case, it's where we change this to be 0, 0, and on theta, again, because we don't want it to increase. Uh, we don't want it to go up, really. We want it to move uh, in the x theta plane. It will be dt here and minus dt here. So what's next? Well, up. Yeah, no, this will be the other side. So what comes next? To save this and to try in the launch section. Any questions? I just see so a comment here from Cat, I guess, about some dinosaurs. That's for say your favorite Pokemon. It's crocodile. Oh, something we forgot. We didn't change the camera perspective. Uh, let's do it in a second. I just want to test that the Geodude moves. That's amazing. It moves. That's really cool. Now let's get back to our example and actually change the camera perspective. Um, I want to rotate it since I want it to look like if this was moving to the front. Okay, now I want to move it in this plane, but probably it's better to have it here more in an up position. Okay, and Let's increase it to 40 and make this maybe 45. Okay, now we can launch this again. And I'm just moving the arrows. And I have a full control of GHW movement. You see here, I can go through this um, rectangle since it is not a rigid body. How then I can apply rigid body properties to it? Okay, come here to the plane, go back, go down. No, no, sorry, not the plane, the box. And add a component. This will be physics. This will be rigid body. And I need to import something else, which is the AMMO or AMMO model to make this possible. Now it's been imported. So what else I'm going to make it bigger to make you feel the difference here. And now this is a real body. If we come back here on the load, our geodude shouldn't be able to pass through it. Oh, but it is. So I may done something wrong. Um, okay, maybe I need to add another thing on components. That's physics collision. In collision now it's true. Let's return this. Okay, I'm just going to make sure changes are reflected by by reloading. Static, lamp, custom maybe layers, material. Collision set to true. Type box. Capsule. No, yeah. Collision is okay. Maybe turn it off, turn it on. Same with this. Cinematics. Okay, let's change this to dynamics. And let's see how it behaves. Oh, it fell down. Maybe, and just maybe, I need to apply the same to my plane here. So let's do it. Let's add this component. Let's add set this as rigid body and or rigid body. It's it's apply here. It's a static one. No. Okay, reload. Reload. Okay, 1 minute left, so I'm going to rush and wrap up this. I just want to see the rigid model running. No. Okay, I need you to reload automatically. Reload. Oh, it was reloading already. I force it. So, okay, let's try. If no, we can leave it this way. We have very good example here up and running. I just forgot how to apply this for interact with others. Maybe no. I think. Well, the issue I think it's, I applied it to the box, but I didn't apply it to the geodude, so that's why. That could be an option. But now I'm going to close all of this. Just get back to you on screen. Well, thank you for joining me in this series of three um, workshops on learning how to develop games on JavaScript. I really hope you learned something new. I really hope you like the streams. And if you do, let us know on the Discord. I just going to wrap up with a massive thank you for being here. Thank you, Karagas. Thank you, Adi Suyash. Thank you, Shopiwe. I think that's all. Uh, I see. So here it's the best model. It kind of felt well with our texture of the mod. I agree. Hey Alberto, I reach out to you on LinkedIn. I'll check that. I'm sorry, I'm not that. I do not check LinkedIn that often, but I will check that. Thank you for the streams. No, thanks to you. Yep, thank you so much. Added you for so. That's all. I didn't realize these were Pokemons. That's really cool. I don't know how you do that, but okay. I think that's all. Again, thank you. And this is not a homework. This it's not going to give you points. Uh, but if you want to complete what we were building, I mentioned you that, for example, in this moment, I mean, we didn't have time to code that, but in this moment, Geodude was moving in the same direction as the plane. Try to do that, but with this, get the coordinate directions and the reference for the Geodude, not for the plane, not for the whole environment. And if you want to make it a bigger challenge, try to do the rotation so you can move only for where the geodude it's looking at. You know, if geodude rotates this way, you can move forward with the up and down, forward and backwards with the up and down arrow, but with the right and left, instead of moving in that axis, rotate positions of geodude. That would be an interesting challenge. Well, that was all. So That's it for me. I don't have more streams here on this Global Hack Week, so I think I will see you on our next Global Hack Week, or hopefully on Web3 apps this next week on weekend. Sorry, on March. So please join me on Web3 apps. Bye bye. You've been an amazing audience.